sit down and relax. So this herb has been growing in India and is native to our country since a long time, since millennia. Those of you who want to close your eyes and listen can close your eyes and listen. That's why I've purposely dimmed the lights. Now, in today's day and world, what is the latest drug? It's dopamine hits. All of us love these dopamine hits, especially those of us who are on Facebook and Insta and YouTube Shorts. You see it and it goes up. You see it and it goes up. People scroll and spend hours and hours on this dopamine hits. This is the currency of today's world, where these corporations want to take away your time. After some time, what happens? If you've noticed the evolution of the entertainment industry, people could first sit for hours, listen to a story, then it became shorter and shorter. Then a film was 3 hours or 2 hours. Today the attention span is 10 seconds. Your Insta reel is 10 seconds. And what has this done to the population? What has this done to our young kids? This is making them get more of the ADHD type of symptoms. Everyone is getting irritated. They want things now. They want things fast. People have lost patience. They give injection, they want a result. You pay something, you want it immediately. Amazon, same day delivery. Now this is creating a new disease or a new mental illness that is brewing in the population. And we have found that this herb, bacopa, which is a very humble, simple herb that grows in marshy lands, this decreases your wanting to get these dopamine hits. So this is called an anti-synaptogenesis herb. So this forms new synapses. And this breaks habit. I know so many people in the morning, when they wake up, the first thing they do is open Instagram or open the mobile phone and keep on scrolling up. Because the moment you get one reel, you want a second one, and then a third one, and then a fourth one, and you waste an hour just scrolling it. The same thing in the night. Before going to sleep, people keep looking at their phones, scrolling, and they're just buying things, wasting your money, wasting your time, destroying your brains, destroying your receptors. Now, bacosides are the active component in this herb. This herb was traditionally used, in chutneys in India, all over. There are two types of bacopa, North Indian bacopa and South Indian bacopa. The South Indian bacopa grows in marshy lands, next to rivers. But unfortunately today, most of our rivers are polluted. And this bacopa also sucks up a lot of heavy metals from the rivers. So whenever you eat your herbs, it's very important to see that these herbs do not have these heavy metals. Otherwise, it will do more harm than do good. And this is what actually is giving Ayurveda and all a bad name. So the growing of these herbs are very important. This Bacopa also is an adaptogen. Now, what is an adaptogen? Adaptogen is something that helps your body to adapt to stress. Okay? Like ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a very good adaptogen when your body is under stress. What if your body is addicted to these dopamine shots? See, everyone knows addiction centers for drugs, addiction centers for alcohol, and today they have these electronic detoxes. But your electronic detox, after you come back, again, you want to see that mobile phone. Again, you want to keep on scrolling. What is there to break your habit? You need to form a new synapse. This formation of new synapses in the brain is called neuroplasticity. And these, it's beautiful. You know, I heard the talk on neural therapy. So these neural plasticity mechanism where the brain can readapt, the dendrites in the brain can reform, the new synapses can form. That's a wonderful thing given to us by God or by nature or whoever you can call it. And this helps us to heal anything innate in our body. Now, I tell you something, everybody talks about this particular food has, this is a nutritional conference, heavy metals. Don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat anything. Some people who eat all the rubbish that is available still don't get any disease. And some people who don't eat anything, who are so particular, get so many nutritional diseases. Why is that so? That's because, again, of the brain. That's the brain firing. So in Ayurveda, there is something called, you know, they have a different system. This has been documented, but they have documented it in a different way. They've called it Agni is high, and so that, you know, it can burn out all the other stuff. But in today's world, it's basically, it's your belief system. I always ask the patient, what do you want? If the patient wants to live, no one in the world can stop him from living. If the patient wants to die, no one in the world can stop him from dying. So coming back to our topic of this Bacopa, now you see most of the neurodegenerative diseases have an inflammatory component to it. And everybody talks about inflammation. Everything is inflammation. The heart, they talked about inflammation. So how do you take care of this? Whenever you see some inflammation in the body, again, it starts with the brain. It starts with an incident that happened to that person. One could be, okay, a physical incident where, you know, you could get an injury or something. I'm talking about more of autoimmune conditions. They generally had an episode that affected, you know, the amygdala in their brain, or the deep down emotion in that brain. So when you have to ask that person to heal, you have to ask the person to change his emotion. There are many methods to change the emotion. Like you can talk about NLP, you can talk about, you know, other things. As doctor spoke about the neural therapy, where you switch the brain on and off, and you cause a total reset. But that will happen only if the patient wants to reset. There are many times the patient doesn't want to reset. There are many times the patient, you know, are suffering because of something else. They are in a relationship and they are suffering because they know they get attention because they are sick. Or they are a child and they get attention because they are sick from their parents. So that That needs to be changed. Talking about the neurotransmitters, today in the world of neurotropics and neurotransmitters, there is one very important neurotransmitter called GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. And where does this GABA being produced? Most of your GABA and serotonin are being produced in your gut by some bacteria. Somebody asked, what about postbiotics? So I'll tell you, whatever you're talking about these herbs, how do these herbs affect your body? Now, when you eat bacopa or when you eat curcumin, you can't test it in the blood. You won't get bacosides in your blood. The amount will be very minimal. Some people need a higher amount, some people need a lower amount. So as you eat this herbal plant, the bacteria inside your gut also eat it. And they excrete certain metabolites. Those metabolites are picked up by your blood, and that's what changes. Now, they have found a bacteria called Clostridium butyrem, which we also have in our gut cleanse, and the product called Candida cleanse. When Candida grows more, this Clostridium butyrem comes down. And that's why you have a craving for sugar. You have a craving for milk. You have a craving for all these other foods. Now, when you supply this Clostridium butyrem bacteria with a good amount of MCT fat or medium chain triglyceride fat that is present in some coconut oils, is present in some palm oils, and also you give it a good amount of this Brahmi. It could be raw or it could be an extract. It produces GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. That is the postbiotic that it produces. And this postbiotic is then picked up and then works in your brain. And that's how your neurotransmitters work, and that's how the gut-brain axis works. The gut-brain axis basically works on the principle of these postbiotics. Now, it also works in the opposite way. If you eat a lot of processed foods, a lot of plastic, a lot of microplastics, a lot of Lays and all those kind of chips and all those things, what happens in your gut? These are again eaten up by your bacteria, and they produce pro-inflammatory postbiotics. And these pro-inflammatory postbiotics actually help, promote inflammation. I myself was suffering from uveitis. I was blind in the one eye and almost in the other eye. I thought that there is nothing that could be done because that was what was the hand dealt to me, and was being a medical doctor, I thought that was what has to be. You only have steroids to take care of yourself. But after getting into this medicine of eating the right fruit at the right time, that's what changed. Now, what is the right type of fruit to eat? Some people talk about going for these different fad diets, Atkins diet, fasting diet, prehistoric diet, all these type of diets. Your body knows what type of food it needs, and your body knows how much food it needs. As long as you're open to tasting many things. The moment you taste, your body knows, oh, I like this, I want more of it. Or your body knows, oh, I like this, I do not want more of this. Now, where is the problem? The problem is because we live sedentary lives. We work with our brain more than our body. We don't listen to our body, we listen to our brain. As we work on the computer or keep watching TV, What is the currency of our brain? Glucose. Glucose gets over. So your body keeps asking for more glucose, and you keep on eating. You keep on snacking. You keep on having a lot of maida. You keep on having a lot of, all these kind of fast foods. And there is where the problem starts. That destroys your gut microbiome. And once your gut microbiome is destroyed, then the postbiotics that come out are destroyed. So that's why we've put this into a word we've coined. It's called tribiotics, which is prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. And everyone's probiotic is different. It depends upon your age, your sex. It depends upon the place you stay. It depends upon the climate in which you live. It depends upon the season where you are. Like, for example, this Brahmi. Why do nutraceuticals don't work? It is because the same doctors who were prescribing polypharmacy are today prescribing polynutrition. They were writing 5 different antibiotics, today they are writing 5 or 10 different nutritional supplements. And that's what hurts me. That will not work. Nutrition has to be given at a particular time of the year. That's why if you see plants, you get mangoes at a particular time of the year. You get chickus at a particular time of the year. Watermelon at a particular time of the year. And you need to eat it at that particular time. Not just at, any time, eat anything. So the same thing, when you take supplements, you don't just take the supplements at any time of the year. For example, this Brahmi grows in the rainy season. That is the time where it needs to be harvested. Again, a lot of children come and ask, doctor, I want some, especially the parents, doctor, I want something for memory. Do you have memory capsules, especially before going for exam? Or when school starts in the June, July, at that time there's a rainy season. So at that time, people started giving them this Brahmi as chutney or as, something to eat. Now the problem with Brahmi is why you can't eat it directly. It's very bitter because bacosides are very bitter. So there is something called debitterization of the Brahmi. So how does it work? If you want to memorize something, this herb helps you form new synapses. So what is a thought? Can anyone define a thought? A thought is nothing but an electrochemical reaction. There's some electricity being produced in your brain and there's some chemical being produced. And that is taken together and got a thought. Now, these thoughts have to be forged into your brain. So these electrochemical reactions have to be made faster and faster. And they have to be cemented. So these bacosides or these Brahmi plant helps you cement these reactions, and that's how you can use it as a memory tablet. Or you can say, see, I don't advocate the use of tablets. I would say always go for the fresh plant. But in case the plants are not available, because all of us today don't stay in beautiful houses with, gardens and we can grow all these things. So what is the next best thing? The next best thing is the supplement, what we can get. Stress. So everyone is under stress today. There are 2 types of stress. I mean, good stress and bad stress. And now, how do you test stress in the body? Some people say, okay, test cortisol. Your cortisol may be high. But even if you test cortisol, sometimes people under stress, the cortisol is down. That is burnout. So what is significance and how do you say that a person is under stress? So there is a protein that is produced when you're stressed. And that study was published in New England Journal of Medicine, showing that when the tissue is under stress, there is a glycoprotein that is produced. And this glycoprotein makes the person very agitated. And Brahmi has found to actually decrease or block the receptor for this glycoprotein in your body. Everyone is under stress. I cannot tell you change your job. Or some people will say, I cannot tell you get a divorce from your spouse if you're stressed. But you need to handle that stress. You need to, your body needs to, accept that stress and not have any biochemical changes. So this protein receptor, glycoprotein receptor, can be blocked by Brahmi. We spoke about adaptogens, where the stress response can be modulated. What do I mean by modulated? Modulated means not taking too high or not taking too low. So again, it helps, as I said, it enhances the dendritic cell growth. And you know, when the dendritic cells join, they make the synapses, and these synapses get cemented with the buccosides. Now there are buccosides that can be also synthetically be made in the laboratory. That, I think, your large lecture, Professor Rangappa is an expert in making the same thing synthetically in the laboratory. But it is for you to understand, do you actually want to take a synthetic substance in your body? You can get synthetic curcumin, you can get synthetic, ashwagandha, you can get synthetic resveratrol. But we have seen from practical study, in the laboratory, everything will be the same. All the graphs will be the same. But when you take a synthetic product, we actually see decline in the function of, what you're going to treat. And that's where the, again, nutraceuticals get a bad name. Because people pharmaceuticals start using synthetic substances to bring down the cost. And because of this, things don't work. So BDNF, everyone talking about BDNF now, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And this is the most important thing when we talk about neuroplasticity. This is the most important thing when we talk about, formation of new synapses. So we have seen that BDNF actually rises after you take the bacopa plant or bacopa, for a longer period of time. Today, people have started using these things in chocolates and in sweets. So they give kids chocolates that have these herbs in, or they add it to chicky, so that once you eat it, that's actually how the thing should be made. And it's important, no matter whatever herb you take, see that it is a natural herb and see that your body accepts that herb. You will know whether your body accepts it or doesn't accept it. That is something called the art of medicine. Medicine is a science and an art. So the science is all these things that is there. But the intuition behind giving a particular medicine, or the intuition behind knowing whether the patient needs a particular treatment or not, that is the art. Okay, and thank you so much for everything.